Hello, Popcorn Junkies. It's CinemaCon, which means that all sorts of tidbits of clips and trailers and excerpts from various studios are being thrown all over the globe for us to get all excited and titivated by, to tease us in and make us excited about forthcoming releases at the cinema. And Warner Brothers have released a second, is it the second full trailer? Was there a teaser? I think it's the second full trailer for the new film, The Flash, which is coming out later this year. Now, obviously, this has been in the press for a lot of the wrong reasons, because, of course, it was kind of touch and go for a while, whether this was actually going to, be shelved, a little bit like the Batgirl film, principally because of Ezra Miller, the star who plays the Flash. He's very good. What I saw of him in some of the other like Justice League films and what have you, I like his shtick, I like his manner, I like the cut of his jib and all that kind of stuff. But of course, he got embroiled in all sorts of kind of weird there were accusations of cult leadership, there were accusations of grooming, he was punching people for doing bad karaoke of songs from A Star Is Born. He was stealing bottles of wine from a sort of patio somewhere. I mean, come on, some of the weirdest shit going on. But he was called into Warner Brothers, DC, and they said, look, for God's sake, sort your shit out. Now, that could have worked in his favour, because I think I'm kind of more intrigued to see how this floats and plays out, principally because I want to see how Ezra Miller is. But anyway, so this is The Flash. This is obviously alter ego Barry Allen. I think of The Flash, I don't know if anyone else does, as almost DC's version of Spider-Man, for the simple reason, not in terms of his superpowers, but in terms of his age and him coming to terms with sort of being a young adult, teenage type who's kind of trying to get to grips with being a superhero and all that kind of stuff. I made a huge mistake in the last trailer where I figured it was Ben Affleck as Batman, but of course it's not, is it? Who is it? It's Michael Keaton. He's always very good. I mean, I have to say, I think of all the chins, who's your favourite Batman chin? Not Batman, but favourite Batman chin. I think Michael Keaton's up there. I like his chin. It's sort of, there's a dappled authenticity to it. It's rugged, but it's not artificially so. You feel he's had a life. Michael Keaton's Batman chin is to Batman what Heath Ledger's face was to Joker. Granular, grimy, real. Anyway, what's the premise of this? The premise of this is the Flash travelling back in time to prevent his mother's murder. He ends up entering an alternate reality. So it seems like we're going to have yet again, I mean, I suppose the thing with a guy who can move so fast through time, space, and the time-space continuum, or the Morbius strip of time, is that you're going to enter different phases and enter different times. If only entering different time planes was as simple as it once was with Back to the Future. But now it always involves all sorts of Inception-like sort of shards of kind of stuff and colour and quantum words and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, so he's travelling back in time. He's going to save his mum from being murdered. He's going to come across a historic Batman, thus Michael Keaton, and we're also going to see Michael Shannon in there, and I'm a huge fan of Michael Shannon. Apparently he's playing General Zod, a Kryptonian general who possesses the same powers as Superman, and he was killed by him in Man of Steel. So obviously we're sort of resurrecting old villains and resurrecting old heroes. So let's check this out. I've been gibbering around too much. Let's find it, let's watch it, let's do it, let's feel it, baby.
I lost my parents. That pain made me who I am. I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs of the past.
It's Mikey, boy.
As if fighting crime would bring my parents back.
Look at his hair.
You actually did it.
I can't imagine what you've been through.
I love you, Monkey.
You lost both parents in one day.
Barry! Call 911 now!
I went back in time to save my parents. But instead, I completely broke the universe.
It can happen.
If you went back and changed the past,
this world must die.
You changed the future.
Do you know what this symbol stands for?
It means hope, right?
I will help you fight Zod.
you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
what I did.
These scars we have make us who we are. I'm not meant to go back and fix them. Don't let your tragedy define you.
What did you do?
No matter what we do, we're not going to be able to fix this. No! Nobody dies!
You're strapped to your parachutes.
And where's yours?
Neat little silhouette there of the bat logo against the moon. Bright and breezier I think than the last trailer. I really like the last trailer. I kind of like that. Not entirely convinced by some of the sort of, you know, Supergirl. No, I don't know if I'm sold on the, ever have been sold on Supergirl. It's not that I don't think there shouldn't be it's not about being anti a super female, and I know there was a Supergirl and a Superwoman and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know why. It's like we've got enough room for Superman, let's create a different female superhero. I don't know. Michael Shannon, not a lot there. Obviously, you know, let's destroy this world. It always has to be a world rather than a person that they're destroying, so that's a bit frustrating. That said, I think all the best bits in there pivot around Ezra Miller. He's got the most sensational face, hasn't he? And all that kind of electrocution and all that kind of stuff feeding through his head and into his brain. Like all of that. Really like all of that sort of stuff. What else was in there? You know, a few sort of cheesy moments where they sort of all ran and then slid towards the front of camera, you know, but this is Batman's film. This is clearly Michael Keaton's return. This is a moment for Michael Keaton to reprise his role, but also it's curious, isn't it? As I was watching that, I was thinking, but I've tried to get used to the Robert Pattinson Batman, and I know this is different, and then Ben Affleck's in there too. I think in this iteration of Batman, I think they're gonna kill Michael Keaton. I think one of the things that having multitudinous different versions of the same superhero, like they did in Spider-Man, what it allows for is that you can kill them off. You can actually kill off a main superhero, because actually it's superhero number 48. You know, like Kang has got 6 million versions of himself. Well, with more versions of Batman, you can start to kill them off, but you've never lost him. It's a clever ruse, isn't it, by the studios here? It's a clever ruse by the filmmakers. We can kill people, but we haven't really killed the character. Is that what it's about? In which case, it's kind of more of a monetary thing, isn't it? It's a shame. I like the look at that. I love the music. I think it's definitely going to be the last sort of, apart from Aquaman 2, the last sort of gasp, if you like, of the more conventional superhero sort of film. It is a bit more conventional superhero than perhaps some, you know, like Guardians that's coming up. Joker 2, Batman, the Batman, Suicide Squad, all that kind of stuff. I think we're going to see a gear change in. Although, to be honest with you, when you look at what's coming out of Marvel, I don't think we are going to see a gear change, and I think it could mark the end or the death knell to superhero films. Are we looking at Super Mario and console game adaptations superseding superhero? The superhero landscape needs to be very careful and treat things cleverly. For me, the strongest thing in there, or the most compelling thing to look at, was Ezra. He's eminently watchable. Your eye is drawn to him, and I like that.